Good evening, my Real News Midday TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this evening, opposition leader reveals the documents confirming he no longer holds a dual citizenship. In a bid to finally put to rest the ongoing debate about his citizenship status, opposition leader Mark Golding has disclosed the documents from the United Kingdom Home Office confirming his renunciation as a citizen of that country. Documents including a cover letter and an official declaration of renunciation obtained by the news confirmed that Golding ceased being a British citizen on August 5, 2024. The People's National Party president acquired a British citizenship by descent through his father, Sir John Golding, who was born in the country. I am writing to inform you that the above named is now registered as having renounced the British citizenship. Endorsed is the Declaration of Renunciation bearing a stamp of registration. This confirms the date on which the applicant is ceased to be a British citizen under Section 12(1) of the British Nationality Act of 1981, the letter addressed to Golding said. It continued, any British travel document that you may still hold should be returned to Her Majesty. The letter further informed that the renunciation affects, among other things, Golding's right to live in the United Kingdom. The document was signed by Leslie Davis of the UK Home Office. Golding's disclosure on Friday comes amid repeated assertions by Cabinet Minister Darrell Vaz that the opposition leader has failed to prove the renunciation of his British citizenship. Mark Golding has shown zero evidence of the renunciation of his UK citizenship. Now that he has made such statements in Parliament, we again ask Mark Golding to present evidence, Vaz said in a March 18 post on X. In a similar post on X, Vaz, the Minister of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport, criticized Golding for reading the words of Jamaica's national song as he ended his contribution to the 2025-2026 budget debate on Tuesday in Parliament. He couldn't recite it, yet he expects us to believe that he is a Jamaican citizen, said the Jamaica Labour Party Member of Parliament, who was ousted from the Portland Western seat by the court because he held both United States and Jamaican citizenship at the time of the 2007 general election. The PNP's Abraham Dabdoob, an attorney at law who contested the seat in the September 3 general election that year and lost to Vaz, brought the issue of his suitability to the courts. After renouncing his U.S. citizenship, Vaz contested and won the court order by election in March 2009, increasing his margin of victory over new PNP candidate Kenneth Rowe. Vaz and the controversial MP for St. Catharines Southwestern, Everald Warmington, have been among those from the government benches leading the charge against Golding's suitability to contest for the office of Prime Minister, with the latter declaring that his race disqualifies him. Golding, in June 2024, announced that he would begin the process of renunciation after confirming his UK citizenship status a month prior. The decision followed widespread calls for him to declare his loyalty to Jamaica amid questions concerning his allegiance to the country. At that time, Golding said data on the views of Jamaicans on the issue of political leaders holding dual citizenship informed his decision to take steps to renounce. Golding said then that he had pledged that if it became apparent that the public's view was that political leaders should be exclusively Jamaican citizens, he would take that into account. He had before then maintained that it was not illegal for him to hold a dual citizenship because the Jamaican Constitution allows Commonwealth citizens to sit in Parliament. In September last year, Golding announced that he no longer held a dual citizenship. I have received a letter and the official declaration of renunciation dated the 5th of August 2024 from the United Kingdom Home Office confirming that the renunciation is complete, Golding told the news in a September 10, 2024 article. However, he had not made the document public, and the calls continued up to this week for him to provide evidence of the renunciation. Man gets a 25% stake in Mobi House after court upholds ex-spouse's promise of shared ownership. A man fighting for interest in a $36 million St. James home controlled by his former partner has been awarded a 25% share after a court ruled he made substantial contributions to expanding the property based on a promise. They both jointly embarked on the project because they were in a committed relationship, and the defendant, Georgiana Chin, by relying on the claimant, Scott Anthony McKnight, in the way she did and accepting his proposal for marriage, gave the claimant the impression that the house would be for both of their use, said Supreme Court Justice Tanya Mottola-Reid in her judgment on March 10. It was that promise which gave the claimant the confidence that led him to feel comfortable enough to expend his financial and the physical resources on the expansion efforts. However, the judge limited McKnight's interest to 25%, given that Chin originally purchased the house in Bogue Village, Montego Bay, St. James on her own. The property was registered solely in Chin's name. I find on a balance of probabilities that the claimant, McKnight, contributed to the improvement of the house and is entitled to a portion of it. Given that both he and the defendant contributed to the improvement of the house, and that it was the defendant who acquired the house, I am of the view that he is not entitled to a 50% share in the property, Tola-Reid said. Chin had contended that, although they worked together, she financed the expansion. In his 2022 lawsuit, McKnight, an auto technician, sought a 50% share, claiming he funded and oversaw significant renovations, spending his own money on expansions, and acting in reliance on Chin's promises that the home was theirs to share. McKnight and Chin were in a 10-year relationship beginning in 2012 and got engaged in 2016. Living together in the home Chin bought in 2013. McKnight argued that Chin promised he would be added to the title once they married, but also alleged that she did not inform him of her already married status. Though Chin frequently returned to the UK, McKnight stayed at the house and supervised an extensive expansion that he said started in 2018. He claimed he used his own funds to construct additional rooms and a second story. Chin, however, claimed to have sent money regularly for both McKnight's living expenses and the construction costs. When the expansions were completed, McKnight alleged that Chin sent people to remove furniture from the house in September 2022, but he turned them away. Chin denied ever claiming the property was theirs, stating McKnight was unemployed during their relationship and only assisted with design aspects and supervision. She claimed the responsibility for financing the expansion. Chin also testified that although she accepted McKnight's proposal, she was not interested in marriage at the time, as she was already married and did not trust his motives. She further stated McKnight knew about her marital status but had been divorced for over 4 years, though she could not specify when. The judge found McKnight's contributions significant, both financially and physically, and that Chin's action led McKnight to reasonably believe he had a stake in the home. It was that promise which gave the claimant the confidence which led him to feel comfortable enough to expend his financial and physical resources on the expansion efforts, Tola-Reid explained. McKnight's claim was based on constructive trust, which acknowledges ownership stakes when one party contributes significantly despite not being on the title. The judge ruled McKnight met the standard, stating, equity must step in. The doctrine of implied, resulting and constructive trust does not apply only to a husband and wife or common law relationship, but also to persons living together who have decided together to set up their homes. Despite Chin's claim that McKnight never had ownership interest, the court found inconsistencies in her testimony. Chin was not a very credible witness if she had not intended the claimant to share in the property. Why was it necessary for him to be a part of that decision-making process, the judge said. The judge further questioned Chin's claim of mistrust, pointing out that McKnight living in the house from 2013 to 2022 supervised the construction and managed the finances such as paying workmen and buying materials. Those are not the actions of someone who does not trust the motives of her partner. The court also noted discrepancies in Chin's assertion that she sent money every week, citing records showing gaps in payment. It was revealed that Chin did not send any money between 2018 and April 2020, based on our view that no construction was being done during that period. It also emerged in court that Chin was unsure whether she disputed when the expansion started and could not say how much money she spent to support the expansion. The court found that based on statements submitted, Chin sent £28,190 or Jamaican $5.6 million between 2013 and 2022. She said the calculation was based on today's rate, which is different from and more than the exchange rate over the period in question. McKnight claimed to have spent over $15 million on construction, though his receipts did not support that amount, the judge said. The court ruled McKnight is entitled to a 25% share of the property and ordered the title to reflect his interest. If Chin refuses to sign the transfer documents, the Registrar of the Supreme Court will execute them on her behalf. Chin must also pay 25% of McKnight's legal costs. McKnight was represented by attorney Craig Carter, who was instructed by A. McBean and a company. Attorneys Leroy Equiano and Esther Reed appeared for the defendant. Thank you everyone for watching. See you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for another news update.